guys, how are you? Welcome to Civics for All Ages with Kim Anderson, Kim in all caps, in conjunction with the Founding Project. I am here today to give you a very brief synopsis of a lesson in limited government today. Just want to start to continue to lay the foundation for what we're doing. And it's very interesting. It's like, we are like on summer vacation. And so I just want to try to do these videos from like wherever I am. And so things may look different. And I've got the ceiling fan behind me. So that's kind of funny looking. And I'm actually standing up trying to get the right lighting to do this video. So it's just always an adventure. Isn't that awesome? So I am giving a shout out today to, can you see? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their Buccaneer fans in the Tampa area. Woo-woo! What is happening, guys? We are expecting a good season from the Bucs. Good things we are expecting to happen for that team and their fans are having a super excited season, except when they play the Patriots on a Thursday night at some point in the season, but that's neither here nor there. So since I am standing, I'm trying to get myself together. There's the camera. Okay, so I'm standing and I'm going to kind of just read. Don't you love it? I'm just kind of going to go through this lesson, and it's called Limits in Government. And our civics course is following along with a civics lesson for about 7th to 12th grade. We're not trying to make it super deep, but with a curriculum from Alpha Omega in their civics course. So our current lesson is entitled Limits in Government. Okay? And so I'm just going to go through this. This is not a long lesson. Our last lesson was a bit longer, but this one should be, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. But I just want to get this nugget and get it out and get it ready for you so that you can take this one and listen to it. And like we said in our last video, the wonderful thing is that our videos stand alone, but they also work together. So if you hear this video, but you haven't seen the other ones, nothing's out of order, and it's going to be the right place at the right time for you to hear the lesson. And so we're very excited about that. We're so glad that, one, you're tuning in, and two, we hope you're sharing the videos and helping as many people get reacquainted with the civics of the United States as possible. That, of course, is our mission at the Founding Project. So let's get started on limits in government. In 1887, Lord Acton said, "Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. A government with no limitations on its power will generally become authoritarian system or a can I say that? I can say it. Totalitarian state. Governments with powers limited by a set of rules, mutually agreed upon by both leaders and citizens, will respect the rights and freedoms of its citizens while still striving to meet the common good of all." And isn't that what we want? So let's just keep going. I'm videoing here for you. Let's just keep going. A limited government is one that provides some means for both protecting the individual rights of its citizens and for promoting the common good of its people. Now, I should have water. I should know better by now, right? To try to do these videos without water. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. So my mouth's getting dry. But I'm still going. Governments that are controlled by legal limits on their powers expressed in a constitution are known as, drumroll please, constitutional governments. That basically means that they follow a rule of law. They don't make it up as they go. They don't change their mind mid-course and say, you know what? We don't want to do that anymore, so that's out. No, a constitutional government basically states that we are going to follow a set of rules, a set of laws, and we're going to adhere to them even in times when we don't like them. That's a very important point, and it promotes a level of maturity in relation to the law. So as we go on in our civics lessons, we will do some further study on on these concepts that I'm going to mention now: checks and balances, separation of powers, popular sovereignty, and republicanism. And I don't mean the party, I mean the concept and the idea. And we'll examine that more thoroughly once we actually start to study the Constitution. Okay, so just hang in there with us. We're gonna cover some amazing ground in the days and the weeks to come. Okay, and I want to talk briefly about the rule of law, understanding that it sets a foundation, and what it basically means is that no one is above the law, and no one should be above the law, that the law applies equally to all, those that are our representatives and the regular ordinary. I don't want to call us ordinary because we really are kind of extraordinary, but the citizens. The governed don't get to have any special authority over those that they govern, because the power and the authority to govern was given by the citizens. And guess what? The citizens can take it away anytime they want. That's called an election in this country. It might be called a coup or a revolution in another country. But in the United States, it's called an election. So I'm turning the page. I love that I'm standing up and doing this. It just doesn't matter. We just want to get this information out. And it doesn't matter, whatever, if I'm standing, if I'm on the beach, if I'm, by the pool, if I get an unction to do a video, guess what? I'm just going to do a video. Is, I believe, back live. Okay, I guess I better hurry. So, limitations on government. The power and authority of government must be effectively restrained to prevent the violation of these unique and special rights and the individual liberties. And those freedoms are the freedom of religion, speech, and the press and assembly. These are our political freedoms. And every individual has the right to enter into their own business, to own property, to establish contracts, and travel as we see fit. So therefore, what should our government do? Our government should not infringe upon those pre-established rights and laws. That's what we want. We want them to sort of just get out of our way, make the parameters, and just let us be. So let me just read this one thing. The framers of the Constitution, of the American Constitution, were determined that the powers of the central government would be sufficiently limited to prevent an abuse of authority in the lives of the colonists. Exercising their knowledge of history, keeps doing funny things. I better hurry up. Okay. Exercising their knowledge of history, they studied the principles. They laid the foundation for a constitutional republic in the United States. So I don't want to hear any more talk about that the United States is a democracy. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. So let's just be clear about that. Now, the last thing I want to share with you, I told you, and really I'm almost done. This was a really quick lesson this time, is the examples of limited government would include in fairly recent history. And guys, do you realize that this time in history for governments and freedom is the best it's ever been? Sometimes because we're in this moment of history, we forget that right now what we're experiencing is the best it's ever been. And so we should be excited about that we get to live in such a time as this. But examples would be, of course, the United States, Great Britain, modern day Japan, and Israel. These are countries that operate under the rule of law. Now you have the other end of the spectrum where there's unlimited government. And that means that the government has complete control over its citizenry. Examples of that would be Nazi Germany, Imperial Japan, Spain under the reign of Franco, and Iraq under Saddam Hussein and Iran. When leadership has no restraints on its power, the citizens enjoy no rights, except those that are granted by the ruler. And who wants to live like that? They have no say in their own welfare or their well-being, and they are simply slaves of the state and subject to the whims of those in authority. That is why the rule of law and the rule of law being adhered to is so very important. And so I think I want to end it there. There's just a few other paragraphs, but basically what the lesson is saying and how it wraps up is understanding that the reason we wanted to have this sort of representation and the reason that the Constitution was created as it was, they give the example of the Electoral College and why a straight democracy was not going to work in the United States. And we talked about that in the last lesson, and how a limited government provides protection for the people, for those governed, and it gives a rule of law for those doing the governing. So that's it for today. See, I told you it was going to be quick. So what are you going to do from here? You're going to watch these videos. You're going to share them. You're going to go to the Founding Project and you're going to like their page on Facebook. And you're going to say, hey, you're going to message them and go, hey, how can I send Kim some caps? How can I get Kim in all caps, my cap for our team, our organization, our college? How can we get her a cap so that our team can get a shout out? Now, here's the vision that I have for these caps. I want to one day do a broadcast from a big giant board with caps representing all 50 states and, you know, all the places that these videos have gone in your communities and, you know, in your clubs, and that we are giving you shout outs all over the place. Send a message to the Founding Project to get the address to send your caps so we can give you a shout out. This is Kim Anderson. Love you bunches. Civics for all ages with the Founding Project. Go like their Facebook page. I'll talk to you soon, guys. Have a great one. Bye-bye.